Hello friends, welcome to this YouTube video program. Friends, we are discussing about the research proposal that you will prepare for your dissertation course, that is MESP 001. The course title is dissertation. You have to do a project, a research in your MA education program of IGNOU. This is in the second year of your program. This is a 10 credit program. So here, the theoretical construct and the knowledge understanding that you have studied in the theory course, that is MES 016 educational research. So here you have to do a practical, you can say, you have to apply your knowledge for conducting a research. So that's why particularly for developing skill of conducting research, this course has been kept in the second year program of MA education of Indira Gandhi National Open University. Friends, I have already discussed the process and the components of preparing research proposal for this dissertation course in earlier 3 video programs. So this is the 4th program. In the last program we are discussing about the methodology section. So under methodology we have discussed the particular research method that you will include in your research proposal. Okay, maybe a survey research method, maybe under survey research method you can also specific survey method you can include, maybe descriptive survey method, maybe correlational method, okay, or maybe other types of methods also, okay. And you have to clearly mention that whether it is a quantitative type of research or a qualitative type of research, means what type of data you will get in your research. If you will get data which is qualitative in nature, so accordingly the research method that you will adopt, that you will use, will be determined. Then further we have also discussed about the population, okay, how to define the population, how to list the population, and defining the population, listing the population, how it depends upon for selecting a sample and selecting a particular sampling technique. So that also you have to mention. So here under the research methodology, first is the particular research method that you will follow, then further the population, then the sample, the size of the sample, then the how you will select the sample from the population, that also you will discuss. Then further in the research proposal, another 2 important points or important aspects that you supposed to include, that is tools and techniques of data collection and the method of data analysis. These are the 2 important parts for preparing the research proposal. So friends, today in this program we will discuss these 2 aspects. You see, for conducting a study you will need certain data, okay. For conducting a study in research in education, in psychology or other areas of subject or discipline, other areas of research, so you will be requiring certain data. So where you will get the data and how you will get the data? You should ask question that what type of data you really required for conducting the study and how you will get the data. So for getting the data you supposed to use certain tools and techniques, okay, certain instrument you supposed to use, especially in the educational research. Maybe a questionnaire you can say, maybe a type of test, and particularly this may be an achievement test, maybe an intelligence test, maybe a creativity test, or you can say the aptitude test. So if you are using a test, so according to your nature of the problem, so you have to specify that which test you supposed to use. Then further, you can also, if it is a qualitative type of study and if you want qualitative data, then further two tools you can use, maybe an interview schedule or maybe an observation schedule. Okay, so the technique of observation and technique of interview, that also you can use for your study. Then further, you can also use for studying the attitude of the students, of the teachers, of the population, you can say, or the subjects that you have included in your study. You can also use a type of scale, so that's called as a rating scale. Okay, it may be a 3-point scale, maybe a 5-point scale, or maybe a 7-point scale also. So friends, you can use a questionnaire, an interview, an observation, then different types of test, scale. Okay, and you can also use certain checklist, certain schedule. So such type of things, such type of tools that you can use for your study. Then further, as a researcher, you should understand it properly, that what type of tools you should use. Friends, you see, so far as the nature of preparation is concerned, its function is concerned, tools are of two types, you can say. One is the teacher made tool, or that's also called as the self made tool, and other is the standardized tool. Standardized tool means, I have already taken few sessions on self made and standardized tool. So further, let us recapitulate it, because this is a part of your research and this is a part of your research proposal. So here, a standardized tool, that you can say, this is a type of this is developed as per certain norm, and the tool, a standardized tool is used upon a large population. Okay, maybe you can say the entire student, entire secondary or senior secondary student of a state, of a country. Okay, and for standardizing a tool, you have to follow the process of test standardization. Okay, so means you have to establish the reliability of the test, the validity of the test. At the same time, you have to develop the norm also. So this is a huge task actually. Standardizing a tool is a huge task. Many a time, you will find that many have awarded their MPhil and PhD degree by standardizing a tool. So standardizing a tool is also itself an independent research. But here in your proposal, for getting data, you have to use certain tool. So if you are using a standardized tool, so many a time it's very difficult to develop a standardized tool. Rather, the standardized tool that has been available in the market, in the psychological lab, okay, that even if in the internet, in different libraries, in different university websites, research organizations. Okay, so many a time you will get that the tool is available online, or you can also get the tool from different psychological organizations, educational organizations. So means someone has developed that tool, has been standardized, so that's why that tool can be used at any situation. Okay, so first of all, you should understand your problem, and in your problem, really what type of data you require, then accordingly what standardized tool is appropriate for your study for getting such type of data. Okay, so as a researcher, you should take a decision, you should understand it, and tools are available. And friends, if standardized tools are not available, I always suggest to the researcher for using a self-made tool. Means the researcher, they're supposed to develop a tool of their own, and that tool they're supposed to use. Okay, so here you see, when the researcher will develop the tool, then definitely they will go depth of the tool. Means they will involve in developing the tool, they will write the items, and they can take a good decision, a proper decision, that what type of item is really appropriate or really work for getting the intense data, because the researcher is involved in his or her research. He and she is better understand the nature of the research problem. So that's why if a self-made tool will be developed by the researcher, then definitely the required data the researcher may get. In self-made tool, first of all, you have to write down the items. Then accordingly, after writing the items, you have to define that what are the different aspects and components should be there. Okay, so according to the components, you have to write the items. Then after preparing the draft tool, then that tool should be administered among a small group of subjects to whom the tool you are preparing. Okay, so when you will administer upon a small group of subjects, then you will find out that what are the errors in your tool, what modification is required, means how your tool is working in the field, whether the meanings are properly coming, and the data that you required, whether you are getting the proper data or not, or whether the subjects are facing any difficulties. At the same time, the language error also get minimized in administering the tool. So friends, you have to administer the tool, then accordingly you can modify your tool also. And many a time, for knowing the face validity of the tool, the content validity of the tool, so what you can do, you can also give your tools to the subject experts, those have worked in the field and those have certain expertise in the field. So what they will do, they will go through your tool, they will read your items, your questions that you have mentioned in your tool, and they will analyze the content. Okay, whether the content has properly included in the tool or not, whether the items are representing the content or not. Okay, so the face validity and content validity can also be determined even if a self-made tool to just to prepare a good tool to get the intense data. So friends, two types of tools you can use. It is up to you whether to use the self-made tool or the standardized tool. Then that tool should be used on the field. And here in the research proposal, if you are using a standardized tool, then the name of the tool, who has developed the tool, in which year, what are the different components of the tool, what are the different aspects of the tool. At the same time, the process of standardizing the tool means what is the reliability coefficient, what is the validity coefficient, okay, what is the norm of the tool you supposed to mention in the proposal, because a proposal should be a self-explanatory. A proposal will further help you for conducting a proper research, a good research, and your proposal should be a self-content. It means the information that you have given in your proposal, so the evaluator will evaluate your proposal. They should get the detailed information that what tool you have proposed to use in your study, and if it is a standardized one, who has standardized it, upon what sample size, okay, and what is the reliability, validity, and other aspect of standardization. So that also you have to mention. And if you are using a self-made tool, then definitely you have to mention that the process of developing the tool, what is the total item, then how the items are developed, how whether the expert judgments has been taken or not, whether the tool has been administered upon a small subjects on whom you have developed the tool, whether the administration has been done or not, that also suitably mentioned in the tools and techniques. So this is a part of very important part of your research proposal, preparing research proposal. Then further important aspect is method of data analysis. I forgot to mention here in the tools and techniques of data collection, definitely mention the scoring process also. Okay, so if it is a standardized tool, so what is the scoring procedure? Okay, so if it is a test, if it is a questionnaire, if it is an attitude scale, then how the scoring will be done. So that's supposed to be a part of your tool. And if it is a self-made tool also, you can also mention the scoring procedure, what procedure will follow to score the items. Okay, then further the second important part, that is the method of data analysis. In method of data analysis, what you have to do for analyzing the data, as already you have mentioned under the research methodology section, that what type of data you will get. Okay, whether quantitative data you will get or qualitative data you will get. And further whether you are getting data by using the secondary method, or by using the secondary sources, or by using the primary sources, that also you have to mention. And friends, if the data is quantitative in nature, for analyzing the data, definitely you will be using certain statistics. Okay, statistics means here it may be a measures of central tendency, just like mean, median and mode, may be measures of central measures of variability or measures of dispersion, that is the range, quartile deviation, average deviation or standard deviation. You can also use a correlation. Okay, maybe a product moment correlation, maybe rank difference correlation, maybe other higher standard correlation also. Or you maybe use certain t-test or certain you can say, if you want to know the difference between two groups, okay, two groups of result, so then you can use a significance difference between two means statistics, that's called as the t-test. You can also use an ANOVA. Okay, it depends upon the nature of your program, your problem, that what type of data you have received, how many groups are there in your study, then what is your objectives and hypothesis. Okay, so the statistics that you will use, that also determined by the hypothesis. Okay, if you have stated the hypothesis, then definitely you have to use certain statistics. So in methods of data analysis, you have to explain that how the data will be analyzed. If it is quantitative data, and as per the need of the study, if you have used certain rigorous statistical techniques, you have to mention. Then further, if it is a qualitative study, then again you have to mention that though rigorous statistics you will not use, simple percentage you can use here, frequency and percentage, but you have to narrate the things, describe the things, explain the things. Okay, because it is a qualitative data, means the process that you have observed, that you have interviewed. Here what you have to do, you have to present the data in terms of a description. Okay, and you have to justify the data also. So friends, method of data analysis you have to explain it, it should be a part of your research proposal. Then further, educational implications, if any. So you have going to conduct a study, a large study for a master level dissertation work. So that's why the study that you have selected definitely have certain educational implications. Okay, so here you can also mention certain educational implications, means how the study will help, how the findings of the study will be useful in other sectors of education. Okay, how the study will help for the students, for the teachers, for the community, for the parents, for systemic development of the school, of the institution. So that also mentioned in the educational implications of the study. And the final and last point, that is the reference section. In the reference section, you can write the reference section as per the APA style, okay, American Psychological Association style, or as per the ML style also you can write. Okay, here you see in the references, for preparing the research proposal, the references that you have used. Okay, you might have studied the review of related literature from different journals, from different research articles, your encyclopedia, or from different books, from different thesis, reports, projects. So whatever sources you have studied, you have analyzed, so here in the reference section you have to make a list of the references that you have used for preparing the research proposal. Okay, in the reference, definitely the name of the author, year, then the title of the work, the publisher, then the page number if it is a journal, then the issues, the volume, so everything, the title, at the same time the name of the journal, it's supposed to mention in the reference section. You see, friends, reference section is one of the very important aspect. So whatever you have mentioned in your study, in your proposal, in your synopsis, so it should be listed in the reference section. So friends, today we have discussed about the entire process of preparing your research proposal. I think this the 4 videos that we have developed will help you a lot for conceptualizing, at the same time preparing your research proposal. And at last, I will request you all, please go through the handbook of dissertation manual that we have developed, and it is in the IGNOU course. The soft copy of the dissertation manual is available, and if you will download the dissertation manual and if you will go through how you will prepare your research proposal, definitely will get enough exposure, definitely will get help, and your doubts may be much clear after going through this dissertation manual. And you should study the theoretical course of educational research, that is MES 016, in the first year for conducting dissertation work also. So friends, we have discussed in last 4 videos, we have discussed about the components of a research proposal in the dissertation course, that is MESP 001 course of MA Education program of Indira Gandhi National Open University. Thank you.